Bienvenue dans la saison 2 du podcast Eclats de Femme. Je suis Geronimi et il y a 2 ans, ma vie a basculé. J'ai refusé de me taire et j'ai créé ce podcast pour donner la parole à celles et ceux que l'on n'écoute pas assez. Femmes et hommes engagés, victimes, professionnels, témoins. Ici, nous partageons leurs histoires, leurs combats et leurs pensées. Dans cette nouvelle saison, nous ouvrons des discussions encore plus fortes pour comprendre, prévenir, faire entendre et porter des voix inspirantes de notre société. Retrouvez un épisode un lundi sur 2 à 8h, disponible sur toutes les plateformes d'écoute. Bienvenue dans la saison 2 du podcast Eclats de Femme. Bonjour Marzieh.
Bonjour, thank you for having me.
Peut-être, est-ce que tu peux te présenter en 1 minute, s'il te plaît?
Oui, je m'appelle Marzieh Hamidi, j'ai 23 ans, je suis iranienne et afghane, je suis championne de taekwondo. Je quitte mon pays parce que Talibans ils sont venus en Afghanistan. Et ça fait 4 ans que je suis là, j'habite à Paris et je suis sur protection policière parce que j'ai pris de parole contre les Talibans. Et c'est pour ça je suis sur protection policière. Mais mon combat, c'est pour les droits des femmes en Iran et Afghanistan, et même en France, parce que je pense qu'est-ce qui se passe dans le monde et dans la société, c'est dans la fin de la journée, c'est toujours les femmes qui sont victimes de tout. Et ça, c'est mon combat et je combat pour les droits des femmes.
Et je pense que justement, notre combat se rejoint beaucoup pour le droit des femmes. On aura le temps d'en rediscuter pendant cette interview. Je t'accueille aussi parce que tu as écrit un livre qui s'appelle justement « Ils n'auront pas mon silence ». Et c'est justement pour ça aujourd'hui que je t'interviewe. Un livre qui est très beau, qui a été aussi écrit avec Baptiste Bernard Proust, personne qui m'a permis de te rencontrer aussi également. Peut-être ma première question... So Marzieh, you say you still love Afghanistan, even with all you live there. What makes you stay connected to that country?
I think it's because of my roots, because of my parents. And when I went to Afghanistan, of course, I was shocked about the society and all the situation. It was not good. But when I start exploring the country, the people, I fell in love with most of them because I saw how they are kind despite all of the bomb attacks, despite of all of the sad thing in the society, because Afghanistan is not a safe country and a peaceful country. It has been always in war, and there were always bomb attacks in the city, but people, they were still alive, they were still fighting, and they were dancing, enjoying. And for me, this was so beautiful, and for me, they were such a powerful people. And I fell in love with them because they were so kind. And the country is beautiful, the nature is beautiful, and I think it's more because of my parents, especially my mom, because she loves Afghanistan, and when she tells me about past and all of this, I feel like I'm attached also to Afghanistan. And I think it's more about my experience there, the people that I met. Of course, I had also bad experience there. I met bad people, but I had also many good times. And I learned also from Afghanistan, my experience there, all of this made me a different person. And I'm happy of that. So because of that, I love Afghanistan.
So cool. Tell us a bit about your childhood between Iran and Afghanistan. What kind of upbringing, what kind of family did you have?
I grew up between 2 countries. I was born and raised in Iran. Then I moved to Afghanistan when I was 12. I mean, I didn't move. I had to live there and to go to Afghanistan. And then I came back again to Iran. And then I came back again to Afghanistan. So I was between 2 homes, 2 countries. But at the same time, I was not feeling home with Iran and Afghanistan at the same time. But my childhood, it was not really interesting, but I was lost between two homes. I was lost where I belong. And of course, when I was with my family, it was always about Afghanistan, but at the same time, I was an Iranian girl there, you know, in Iran society, and everything was surrounded by Iranian. So for me, it was kind of, what is going on, like where I belong. For me, Afghanistan was just in the news, and you know, I was just seeing in the news what is going on, and I was like, okay, my parents who were born and raised there. But I'm coming from a good family. Like my parents are really supportive. My father, he's a fighter. Like I'm coming from a family.
That's my next question too.
Yeah. I grew up in a good family. They were always supportive. My mother, my father, my brother. They were always supporter of me and my sisters, education, my freedom and everything. So I had this chance to have a good family. But of course, as you know, in Iran, the society is not really interesting for women because of the government, and Afghanistan the same. And in Afghanistan, it's more about the society than the government, because before the Taliban, it was society that was making it a hard life for women. So for me, it was challenging as a child and teenage girl to grow between two countries, because I was seeing what's going on in Iran and Afghanistan, and I was suffering between both countries. It was really challenging and hard, but I made it. I could live there, and I could learn many things from there.
You often describe your father as a fighter. Did that shape your own sense of courage?
You know, like when I was always a mature and courageous child. You know, I was like this always. And my father, he used to be a fighter against Taliban, and he was in military forces, and he's like me, like he's crazy, like he wants to fight against injustice, against terrorism. And my mother, she's the same, like she's a rebel woman. And I think this is something coming from my parents, my family, and my background. And I'm also like this, like it's coming from my heart. I don't like to see injustice. Like I feel always I want to be in action. I want to fight. I want to be the voice. Like when I start realizing what is going on in the world, like when I was teenager, I was like, I want to be the hero. I want to be someone who is changing the situation, the society. And this was something coming from heart. And of course, when I was hearing the story of my mother, my father, I was like more impressed. I mean, I was more attached to that. And I was like, okay, I want to be like them. So for me, it's coming also from family and also from me, from my heart.
I think I have a question. If your mother had the same freedoms you have now, what do you think she would have done with her life?
I think my mom, she could become a singer, because
like your yellow sister.
Yes, like one of my sister, she's a rapper. You know, she used to sing in the TV show of Afghanistan. You know, she was very popular in Afghanistan. I think my mom, she could become a singer, because she has this in her. Each time she calls me, she's like singing for me, you know, the poems. She has this in her. But when I see her, I get sad, because I'm like, again, she's victim of the society and the system. And for me, she's not victim, but I mean, she couldn't be who she wanted. You know, she's a talent. She's an artist for me, you know. But she couldn't. So because of that, she was pushing a lot my sister. You have to sing, you know. And because my sister, it was her dream to become a singer. So my mom, she was always pushing her, you have to become a star, you have to sing. And she made it. and of course my father was also supporting. My mom, she could become a good singer, and of course a feminist, because my mom, like, I'm like, if you see me, you think you're seeing my mom, like I'm the same of her, but in a different way. But she's like me, a rebel. She's courageous. She's very brave. She break the taboos, and I love my mom. And each time I see her, I'm like, thanks God, like I have a mom like this. Yeah, if she could be something in society, she could be a singer.
How about your older sister? She's a singer. How just can she live in Afghanistan with her job? Sorry.
Well, when my sister became a singer, she was 17. She was very young. She became so famous, and it was very challenging for us, because first of all, Afghanistan for us was a new country and new society. And my brother, he was really afraid of if something happened to her, because she was singing for women's rights. She was singing against the system. Like, she was not rapping for love. It was maybe sometimes, love songs, but most of the time she was, having a strong message for people, for society, for women in her songs. So for us, it was we were afraid of her safety.
Amazing.
And when we were in the street with her, like, everybody was coming to take photos with her. She was very popular, and she was favorite also. But of course, there were people that were saying, "Oh, it's not good for a woman to sing." There's always like this in this kind of society. But she could handle it, But after a time when she became more famous and the security was not good, she left Afghanistan. She went to Turkey to live there. And also we went back to Iran because of her. Actually, we went to Iran again because for us it was not also good, because we are her family, so it was also dangerous for us. So because of that, we left Afghanistan and we went to Iran. It was challenging for her. At the same time, it was very cool. We were enjoying the people. Like, when we were going to restaurants or some places, like, they were so welcoming. They were so nice with her, with us. It was between happiness and fear. So we lived that. She lived that, and after she decided to leave Afghanistan, because she understood that she cannot live in society like a normal person. And she didn't want to be like other people, like with bodyguards, like always to be protected. So she wanted to live free. So she left Afghanistan. But she did a good job, I think, Afghanistan. She could be an inspiration for other girls, to achieve their dreams, to break the taboos, if they want to sing, if they want to rap, to do whatever they want.
And we can listen her music in France?
Yeah, you can search in YouTube her name, Marzieh Hamidi.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah,
so,
she was singing
so cool.
in a TV show. Like, we had a TV show in Afghanistan by the name of Afghanistan, like something the voice that they have in other countries in Europe.
Yeah, it's like
And
like the Star Academy or
a Star Academy, something like this. Yeah. So she became famous because of that TV show, and she started singing there. So you can search in YouTube and listen to her songs.
So cool. As a little girl, who were your female role models?
For me, en general, when I was like teenage, for me it was Yazidi women, because they were fighting against Daesh, and they were slave for Daesh, and Daesh were using them, to make kids for them and to use the kids as a terrorist in future. So they were fighting against that. And like, when I was in Iran, when I was a teenager, I saw that Nadia, she was one of the slave of Yazidi. I mean, she is a Yazidi woman that she was slave of Daesh. She left, she flee, and she came to Europe. And when I saw this, like, in the news, I said, "Oh my gosh, she's so brave! How she could do that?" And when I saw her interview, she was saying that she was raped many times by different men, and when I heard her story, I said, she's so brave. Even escaping from Daesh, this needs a lot of courage. And mentally, you have to be very strong. And for me, she became my role model. And I said, I want to be like her. Like, wow, the way she's courageous. I said, I want to be like her, courageous. She's very strong. And I was always attached with their fight, especially the fight of Yazidi women, because I said they were so beautiful, so feminine. I mean, they are very beautiful and feminine. At the same time, they're very strong. They are fighting with guns against them. And I said, they are wow for me. And so for me, it was Nadia Murad. She became my role model. And of course, I was also inspired by one of the Iranian feminists, Masih Alinejad. When she was talking and when she was fighting against the regime in Iran, I was also attached by her fight, and I was like, I want to speak like her. Like, she was very strong when she was speaking with confidence, and I was like, okay, they were my inspiration. So this is how I find out that I have this part of freedom fighter inside my heart.
You've said that Taekwondo became your therapy. What exactly what is healing? Anger, fear, the feeling of nothing being legitimated?
Well, for me, like first day when I went to the gym to do Taekwondo, to start Taekwondo, it was just a hobby for me for like few months. And then I was sexually abused by a guy, and then I was really sad. I was depressed. I was feeling I'm a loser, because when I went to court against him, they said like first they were talking like I'm the problem, why you went to the house, like about the details. And then I was feeling, oh my God, I feel I'm losing, and I will lose, and what about the justice? They said, okay, he will be in prison for 6 months, but he was just in prison for 2 months. And then I saw him just straight. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
And many people were talking bad about me because I stand for my right and I broke the taboo. I was like, I go to the police, he deserves to be in the jail. And I was feeling angry. I was feeling sad. I was, it was a lot of feelings, and there was pressure also on me, as a young girl in the society. I was underage when this happened, and I went to the police alone, and they were like, where's your parents? I said, I'm my parents, like this happened to me and I want to, open a case. So it was very difficult, challenging. I was feeling lonely, and it was very difficult. It was like, on that age for me it was too much, but again, that spirit of fighter that I had, it helped me to keep fighting. And I was not training because I was always going to the court, to the police, following up with the case. And then when I came back training, I was like, okay, it's the only place that I forget. Like, okay, I forget what happened to me. And sometimes during training, I was getting emotional, I wanted to cry, but then I was like, no, I just stay strong, like just keep training. So because of that, Taekwondo became my therapy. And that was the time that I entered in the ring to fight, in life. That was the moment I became fighter, because I stand for my right and I stand against injustice and all of this. And I said, okay, now it's start now, and for me, my fight started when I was 16, because I was sexually abused, and I said, okay, I want to become a champion. I want to feel strong. I want to feel that I have power. And it was always angering me when I was kicking, and that anger was helping me to be strong in training and in fight. So because of that, Taekwondo became my therapy, because it was a moment, like it was like maybe 2 hours training, but in 2 hours I was releasing all the emotion, the anger, the sadness.
And after you feel better.
Sorry?
And after you feel better.
Yes, and after I started feeling better, and I was like, okay, I did my part. Until it was possible, I fought against that. But sometimes it's the system and it's the society, so it's not in my hands. I don't control that. So Taekwondo is my therapy. But when I left Afghanistan, when I came, in the beginning it was my therapy, but after it was not my therapy, you know. You know, when I was suffering a lot from my mental health, like anxiety and panics, Taekwondo was not helping me. So sometimes in my life, it was my therapy, but sometimes it was the reason of the stress of my life.
It's normal. It's a hard practice to.
Yeah, because I do Taekwondo as a professional job. Like it's my, you know, it's my professional job, Taekwondo. So when you're in high level sport, it's not the same when you're going to gym. So it has another stress, you know, to be a champion, to win medals, you know, to be the best. It's another challenge and stress, but I'm not just stressing as an athlete. I'm stressing from many things, from life, from my fight, from the country that I'm coming from many things. So everything is like a lot for me, and I'm like, okay, sometimes I just need to not kick, because sometimes kicking was also making me feel sad.
I imagine. When did you realize I'm not just doing sport anymore and I'm fighting with the system or against the system?
I realized when I went to Afghanistan. Because when I joined the Afghanistan national team, I saw that they don't care about a female team. They don't respect. They're not really interested in our team. You know, like we had coach, but they were more focused on boys. And I said, this is not normal. Like the girls are working hard also, and it's difficult in the society to be an athlete. So why we don't have that much support? So I started realizing, okay, it's not normal what is going on here. And then I was like, okay, I have to be a good athlete. I have to be a champion. I have to be stronger because of the system, to fight against the system, to fight against the society, because they were always attacking me, like telling me, oh, like they were, when I was kicking, they were saying, oh, it's so sexy when you're kicking. And I was like, I'm kicking, it's fights. I don't think it's sexy, you know. And they were like, oh, I see your legs, you know. They were talking about my body, so I was not comfortable of that. And I was like, okay, Taekwondo now is my fight as a woman, not as an athlete. And I realized that I'm not just an athlete. I'm more than that. I want to be a symbol for you know, and to be an inspiration for other women and to help other women. So for me, sport in Afghanistan become my fight for equality, for freedom.
Do you remember the first time you thought this is happening because I am a girl?
Yes, I know that it was because I was a girl, you know, like when I came to Kabul, when I joined the team, they were happy of me because they said, you're talent, you're very good, you're a good athlete, you know, you're strong, your technique is good, because I started Taekwondo in Iran, so Iran is good in Taekwondo. And then I started realizing the injustice towards other girls, you know. And I was not wearing hijab when I was training. So every time they were telling me, not my coach, but the other coach, he's coach of male teams, he was always telling me, girl, change your clothes, like put your scarf, like it's not good. If the Talibans see it's like this, it will be not good for federation, the image of federation. Like I was a bad image for the federation, but I was never listening to him. I was like, okay, but the next day I was the same. I was like, I'm not gonna change myself for you. And by the law, I'm allowed to wear what I want, whatever I want. So I wear my favorite clothes for the training. I don't wear hijab, and I was the only one in the whole sport of Afghanistan. I was not wearing hijab, and I was dressing the way I want. And then there was a competition in Afghanistan, in Kabul, and I won in my category. And when it was a ceremony of medal, they said that you have to put your scarf, Marzieh.
No.
Yes, they said because it will publish in the news and the Taliban will see, and it will be dangerous for the Federation and other girls. So I said okay, because I didn't want to make it hard for other girls, and to be in danger because of me.
Yeah.
But after I took it off and I took photo from myself with my medal without hijab. And I shared that photo. I didn't share that photo of what they wanted and they asked me. But for me, it was this, and I was like, it's not okay. Like, ça va pas, everything is going on here. Like, they don't care about us. Like, the male training was always good. For the boys, everything was good, And they were always saying to the girls, oh, you're not good, you're not strong, you're weak. They are strong. It's the coach who is weak. Is the system who is bad and weak, and they don't know how to manage athletes and how to take care of these young talents. So this was the time that I realized, and I was like, okay, I have to fight, even if they are nice sometimes with me, because they know my family, my brother, my position was different in society, so they were kind of sometimes good with me, but I was like, I don't care about this if they are good with me. There is injustice around me, so I will always stand by the side of the girls, even sometimes they were not good also with me. But because I was a foreigner for them too, it was crazy. But I was like, I don't care. Like, I do what I want to do. And I was telling always to them, you have to take us to the stage, to the training camps. We have to do this. Like, Federation is doing nothing. I was always in action, and they were like, oh, you're crazy girl, Marzieh.
Wow.
Yes. So that was the time I was like, okay, it's not normal what's going on here.
When the Taliban entered in Kabul in 2021, you didn't go to the airport like your friend. Just why?
Well, when the Taliban came, I didn't know that there will be like planes to take people out of the country. I didn't know what will happen. I was just thinking, okay, what is the next for us?
Yeah.
I was thinking like this. And then we had the group chats with my friends. They were saying like, oh, the airport is like this, this person is going like this. But that time I was thinking the most safe place for me is my home now. Because I was like, I don't want to be beat by Taliban at the airport. I was thinking like this. I said, I don't want this to happen. They beat me and I pass and I go to, I don't know, to France or United States, anywhere. I said, I don't want to live like this. Okay. And I was thinking, I have to stay here and to wait.
Okay.
And I went one time with my family because I received visa from UK. I was like, okay, we can leave. But we didn't go to the airport. When we were getting closer to the airport, we saw some families, they had shotguns because, it was like a big mess there. There were Taliban soldiers, there were American, French, from different countries, and they were trying to help people that they want, and Taliban was blocking most of them. And it was like a movie for me.
That's great.
And then I was like, and my brother, when he saw like, okay, what's going on, he said, we go back home.
Oh.
Yes, we didn't want to take this risk because we didn't want anything happen to my parents. So we came back home, and I said, okay, I cannot live like this. Wow. I was so brave to stay, but I was not brave to just pass the airport. I said, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to face Taliban like that. I was not ready to face that. So I stayed 5 months there.
Okay.
And I was waiting for visa, from any country to leave because I couldn't leave the time when I received visa from UK, but I was waiting from some countries. They told me like, we want to help you. But I was like, okay, so I'm gonna live here, I'm gonna make kids, you know, like I will live like with burqa. I was imagining and I was preparing myself like that. And I was like, I have to be a resistance now here.
Okay.
It's crazy like how I was thinking. Like I was not thinking to run away. I was thinking I have to stay and find a solution. But find solution with terrorists, like what I was thinking, it's crazy, you know. Even when I think now, I'm like, why I was thinking like this, you know. Then day by day, I start realizing that international community is good with Taliban. They're saying we want to give them time. They change, and then I was like, is it a joke? They are saying Taliban, they change. They will never change. A terrorist is a terrorist.
Yeah.
Maybe they change their clothes, their way of speaking, but at the end of the day, here they are terrorists. So then I was like, okay, I don't want to be victim of politics here, because I was going to manifestation, I was fighting, I was making interview with the Western media, you know, I was explaining the situation, everything. Then I saw that no, they are closing their eyes to the suffering of women in Afghanistan. So I was like, okay, I leave the country to go fight for women out of Afghanistan, because at the end of the day, we don't want to die, you know, and I didn't want to die and to be killed by the Taliban. And it was very difficult for me, because at the same time I was feeling that it's not fair I leave. At the same time I was feeling that I'm done with to be here. I'm done with Afghanistan, like it's time for me to go, you know. There was a feeling to say, telling me like, go Marzieh, you know. It was like this when I left Iran in 2020. There was a feeling, okay, it's finished for you now, Iran, you have to go for a new country. And that time was like this for me. And I was like, okay, so I leave. And first I went to Doha. I was there for 10 days, and I was not feeling really I left, you know, because it's not very far from Afghanistan, and you know, it's a bit like you don't feel really the difference. But when I came to Paris, I said, okay, I'm in exile now. Like when I left the airport and when I opened the map, the Google map, and I saw that how far I am from Afghanistan. And when I saw it was 1st of December, you know, and it was cloudy, and it was
bad.
It was so bad, to be honest, and very cold. And I was feeling like the sky is choking me, like I cannot breathe. And then I started crying, and I was like, okay, it's the end for me, you know, I cannot go back there anymore. And when I entered my room in the hotel, I was feeling everything was strange. I was feeling like I'm entering another world. That day, the sky was so beautiful. So beautiful. It was very beautiful. I had a video of that day, you know, the sky was so beautiful. I had a good view, you know, I could see the Eiffel Tower, but at the same time, it was not beautiful for me, because I was not feeling good emotionally, mentally. I was not good. And I was like, oh, it's beautiful, but I don't see it. I don't feel it. I see, but I don't feel it, you know. So it was very sad. You know, I lived very hard moments, like 5 months in Afghanistan felt 5 years for me. Like every day when I saw the woman, they disappear from society, all the change, many things, it was heartbreaking for me. And I was feeling so sad for people. Everybody was depressed, and I was like, okay, it's finished for people, for us, especially for women. And then I said, okay, I leave, you know. And I feel sometimes living also needs to be, you need to be brave to live. So I decided to leave. But I know that if I leave, even if I leave Afghanistan, it will be more challenging and difficult for me, because I will suffer emotionally and mentally in exile, and I'm suffering, and it's, you know, it's hard for me like every day.
I imagine. Did you get any psychological support here, or did you cope through support alone?
When I arrived in Paris, like in first 20 days, I was not doing nothing. And then I started going to a French class that it was for the refugees. It was the first thing that I started, and then there was a teacher in the class. She told me is there anyone doing sport here? Because there was a Afghan guy. He was doing boxing. And I was like, oh, me too. I do taekwondo, And she was like, oh, really? I was like, yes. I won so many medals in Iran, Afghanistan. And then she said, do you want to train? I said, yes, I want to train, but I don't know where. She said, I will find a place for you because she knows somewhere. So she introduced me to the coach in the club, and I started training. And the first day, the coach told me, oh, your technique is good. You're good. He was surprised because he was not thinking I'm good because I was coming from Afghanistan,
Yeah.
But he was surprised to see me that I have a good technique, I'm good. And then I was training like that.
Okay.
And then after few months, I joined the French national team to continue my training. And it was like this that I start, exploring things through sport, through education. But I left the French class because there were some people that they were supporting Taliban. And when I report this to the person who was managing the class, and she was very okay, like she was okay with that, and she was saying that they're not okay. She said to me like they have a psychological problem. I said, of course they have a psychological problem because normal person will never support Taliban.
That's true.
That's true. So first I was like this, but they told me like, do you want to see a psychologist? I said, yes, of course I need to see a psychologist. But when I had my first rendezvous, when I started talking with the doctor, I felt like he doesn't understand me. And at that time, I had problem of sleeping. Like I had many nightmares. Like until now, I have many nightmares. Like when I don't have nightmare, I'm like, it's bizarre. Like I don't have a nightmare when I sleep, Then I was like, okay, he doesn't understand me. And he wrote some medicine for me, but I didn't buy. I said, I just need to talk to release my emotion, to release all of this. And then I was like, okay, he doesn't understand me. So I stopped seeing that. But after, I never received help, and I never had a emotional psychological support. I never had until the threat start. But it was not really good. Like there was lack of sympathy, solidarity, understanding, emotional support. And I was suffering a lot with that because I'm coming from a different culture. Like in my culture, we are really connect to each other. We listen to each other, we take care. And there is a lot of love. I grew up with a lot of love, and there's always attention and checking on each other. But when I came here, it was nothing of that. So that made it more difficult because I was suffering a lot and I was feeling always alone. So I never had this psychological like support from a doctor, from an organization or something. But when the threat started, after they found me a doctor and I see her, and that was the time after 3 years I start talking about all my emotions, So it was not really good, to be honest.
And today, do you have French friends? It's complicated.
Well, I have like my teammates, but the way of friendship is not the same. Of what I want, it's not the same that I had with my friends in Iran, for sure. Because we don't have the same life, we don't have the same background.
No, we can't.
So but I enjoy it with them. We have good time, but I don't talk with them about my life, or I'm suffering from my mental health. I don't talk about these kind of things. We are just having good time in training, enjoying. But if I think, I don't have really like proche, like very close French friend. I don't have, because there was always lack of sympathy and understanding.
Yeah, and you say, I remember you said that you feel older than other French people.
Yeah. Like when I came to when I joined the French team, when I saw my teammates, I was like, we have the same age, but we are not the same. I was feeling, I was feeling, oh my God, I'm too mature for them. And they were like, but they are living normal life. So it's normal. This is okay to be like this. You should be like this. But I grew up all faster than my age, And then I was like, oh my God, they don't, like it was so difficult for me. The first year I suffered a lot. I was always feeling alone. And I was like, oh my God, we don't understand each other. Like, sometimes, okay, you don't need to live the same what the person live, but you can be a human and understand, you know what I mean? Again, it was lack of sympathy and emotional support. So I was like, oh my God, how I'm gonna live in this country, how I'm gonna live with the people, especially with the team, how I'm gonna continue. It was a lot of challenge for me, but I made it, and I'm friends with them. But if I want to talk about my anxiety, my panics, my problems, the threats, all of these, I don't talk with my teammate or with French friends. Yeah, I talk with my friend that she's coming from Iran, or I have a friend, for example, she's South African, or from different origin. I share my pain, but when I think no, I don't have like that close friends.
No, I think we need to be more sympathetic and empathic too.
Yeah.
I think we need to understand in France, but for French people, it's a bit complicated. But in Paris, do you feel really safe today?
No, even when I came, I had a cultural shock.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, where I am. Who are these people? When we were going out at night with my friends, I was like, it's weird. I don't feel safe. I was not feeling safe. I was like, everywhere, like if you go every country in the world, there is no safe place for the woman. There is no safe place for the woman in the world. That's for sure. But I was accepting something better in Paris, I remember one night I was out with my friend, we were a bit drunk, and a guy, he came and he touched my hair and he wanted to touch me, and my friend was like, we have to run away. And I was like, oh my God, it was just first 2 months of my life in Paris. I was like, oh my God, wow, what's going on here? I said, it's not normal, ça va pas du tout. I was like, it's not normal, what's going on here? But then I was like, maybe it's random, but I saw often these kind of things and I was like, okay, Paris is not safe. But after, last year in September, when I received the threats, the life totally changed. My life, totally changed. It's a nightmare now for me. And I was like, okay, now I have to survive from the threats because they want to kill me, they want to rape me, and they made a price for my head. One of the Taliban member, they announced in Twitter, if someone in Europe, finished the job, there was a price for that. And then I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna live?
And actually you receive
the threats are from people who live in Europe. This is the problem. Wow. Because if the threats was from Afghanistan, I was like, I don't care, it's so far away, you cannot catch me. Yeah. But the numbers they were calling me, I received 10,000 messages and calls in my WhatsApp, and there were a lot of numbers from French numbers, Germany, Netherlands, UK, United States for sure. Oh. Even some countries that I was not thinking that Afghans would live there. Wow. You know what I mean? And I was like, they are everywhere, so I would never be safe if I travel. Wow. And I was like, oh my God. I saw a number call me from Malaysia, Thailand. I said, it's not normal what's going on in my WhatsApp. And they were sending me also pictures of their penis. They were like, oh, how do you want to be raped? One of them, he lives in Paris. He sent me a message on my Instagram. he sent me a voice message. He said, I really want to have sex with you. How do you want to be raped? Where do you want to be raped? In a hotel, in a restaurant, in home? Like, what is your favorite location to be raped? And he was sending me photos of his penis.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, like that's insane. It's a lot. It's too much for me. And
I understand.
and
Is it too?
yes,
Yeah.
like you can understand me, and you know, as a woman, it's not easy to face this, you know. And then I was like, oh my God, like it's so disgusting. And when I was listening, the way he's talking with love, I was feeling he's here, you know, like, you know. And I was like, okay, they are crazy and they are ready to do everything against me. And I didn't know like the French police would protect me, you know, because I'm not officially French. But then they said, okay, we will protect Marzieh. And I was like, okay, I'm lucky. And, you know, I was happy that they wanted to protect me. But what's the point is that we are living with crazy people in society. And they are here. They are not one or two. They are hundreds and thousands crazy people here. And they are making unsafe society for women. Again, the victims are women. And for example, I didn't want to be the victim. I went to the police. Like when I received the first call, in 2 hours, I went to the police with my lawyer. I called my lawyer, I said, this is happening to me. And she came and we went to the police. And many people told me, oh, even you go to police, French police, they do nothing. The judge will do nothing.
I think that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. I was like, no, it takes time for justice, for sure. But I said, even if they don't do, I fight.
Yeah.
I fight, they do, you know, I fight for my rights. So it was difficult when I went to police, because there were people sending me bad energy, like, oh, I don't think so, especially because there are a lot of people. It's not 1, 2, 3, it's hundreds. I was like, that's good, there are hundreds. It means we can catch all of these crazy people and find a solution, you know. I don't want to put them in prison, to send back to their countries, I don't know. But women must be protected, you know. At the end of the day, again, we are the victim of all of these people that are against women, and who's going to protect us? So, and there was also pressure of me, because they were saying, because I am a refugee in France, you know, and I'm coming from Iran and Afghanistan, you know, and they were saying, oh yes, now you are a fascist, or you are they are using you against immigrants, they are using you against Muslims, they are using you against this and that. I said, listen, I'm the victim of what happened.
Yeah.
And what happened to me is speaking for them, you know, like my case is telling the truth, and it's the reality at some point. I'm also immigrant, but I'm also refugee, but I'm a good refugee here.
Yeah, sure.
I don't rape, I don't I'm fighting for a good life, and I want to be a good person in the society, and I want to make proud for French people that they help me, you know, to not make them regret of, oh, why we help them, you know. So there are also some crazy people, so we have to find a solution for these sick people that they want to make an unsafe society. For example, I told that this happened to me now, the next day it will be another girl not from Afghanistan. It can be a French girl, it can be German, it can be from anywhere, you know, because at the end of the day, they are against women. But for them, it was more easy me, because I spoke out against their regime, all of the things that they are doing against women. So I was like, it's not true. I'm a good example of a good refugee.
That's true.
But
you have all your place here. It's normal.
Yeah,
it's normal.
And I don't stay silent, and because of politics will put a label on me. I don't care. I'm a young girl that I'm facing these problems, and I need help, and I need justice for that, and I need protection. So I don't care. You can, if you're smart, you will never think like this. If you don't have a brain, you will judge, you will say anything. So for me, it was a lot of pressure. Like, I lost many friends, and it's crazy, but I'm not regret of that, because I stand for justice and I believe in my fight. What I'm fighting is for young girls in Afghanistan. I can have a good life in Paris, enjoy my life, doing my sport. But even my political fight is affecting my sport life, and sometimes I get punished by that, because I'm just fighting for justice. I could be selfish and just do my business, mind my business, doing my life, but I don't want that. I don't feel comfortable with that. I want to fight for others, because when I was in Afghanistan for 5 months, I wanted people speak up for us. People who were out of Afghanistan, we wanted they speak out against Taliban and about the situation. So it's the same. There are millions of girls there that they want me to talk for them. So as a human being, I don't think it's fair to stay silent about all of these horror things that is going on in Afghanistan.
If you could change just one thing right now for Afghan women, what would it be?
I will change the society.
Wow, so big.
Yeah, because for me the problem is the society, because it's not only Taliban, it's also society. But if the society is well educated, and if they are smart and respectful to women, they will stand against Taliban. But there are many men that they are okay with Taliban, so they don't care what's the consequences of all of this for women. But I will change the society.
Why did you want to write your book just now?
Since I was a teenager, my mom, she was always saying, write everything that is going on in our life. It was her dream, to share our story to the world. But I was like, oh, let's tell the mom, But I was writing in my notebook, But when the thread started and all of this, it was my dream to write my book, to share my story to the world. And my mom fight my father, everything. But when the thread started, they wanted to silence me, and they were telling me, you have to make a video and apologize, And then I was like, oh, it's not going to work like this. I'm not gonna apologize. I prefer to live under protection for 10 years, but I would never say I'm sorry about what I said. So then I had many proposals from some editors, French editors. They wanted to write my book. And with Baptiste and with my lawyer, we were like thinking which one is the best to share the story. And we chose Robin Laffont, because they were really engaged and supportive about my fight. And they were really, they wanted really to share this fight. And for me, that was very important, to work with someone who value my fight. Not to do a business, to value my fight, to share this testimony. So for me, my book is a testimony, for against Taliban, for women, and to show that you wanted to silence me, but I made it to book. I share about everything. I wrote everything so everybody can read it, because when you make interviews, of course it's good, but the book will stay. So for me, it was because they wanted to silence me, and I didn't want to stay silent, so I wanted to speak louder through my book.
My last question is, if a young girl or just a girl in Kabul secretly reads your book, what do you hope she takes from it?
I would love she feels that she's not alone. And I would love that she feels that we all stand together and we are fighting for them. I want they feel that they are not alone, and they are, we didn't forget them, we will never forget them, and we will fight for them. And I wanted to give them this feeling that we all having a difficult life, but in a different way. But all of us, our goal is freedom and safety. So I want they feel that they're not alone and we are together in this fight.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Merci d'avoir écouté cet épisode du podcast Eclats de Femme. Si ce que vous venez d'entendre vous a parlé, abonnez-vous à ce podcast pour ne rater aucun épisode. Partagez-le autour de vous et rejoignez-nous dans ce combat humain, universel et collectif contre les violences sexuelles. On se retrouve dans 2 semaines, lundi à 8h avec un nouvel invité. D'ici là, prenez soin de vous et libérez la parole.